More drop points for Liverpool. 1-1 at Anfield tonight. Palace taking the lead. A crazy Darwin Nunez red card for a headbutt. 3-game suspension for him. It's been a poor start to the season for Liverpool. Listen, they've given away. They've got 2. City got 6. There is a 4-point gap already with the title contenders Manchester City. A 4-point gap already. Simply not good enough if you're a Liverpool fan. Simply not good enough if you're a Liverpool supporter. There will be frustration with this tonight. Some big chances missed. Darwin Nunez culpable for many of them. Some huge chances missed. For the record-breaking signing at Liverpool Football Club. A lot of questions to be answered. We're delving into all of that with you tonight on the Football Terrace. No better place to be. Rivals welcome. Scousers welcome. Liverpool fans welcome. Another enthralling game, by the way. Another enthralling game for the English Premier League. Best league in the world, no doubt about it whatsoever. But a disappointing night for Liverpool. Listen, they had the play. They had the ball. They had the chances. They just couldn't finish their dinner. Luis Diaz, a word on him. The finish, sensational, out of this world, impeccable, brilliant, absolutely mesmerizing from the man, without a shadow of a doubt. Individual moment of brilliance saves Liverpool blushes from losing at home. But the overall play in terms of that final third, just not good enough for a title contending team in Liverpool. They controlled the game. I mean, a lot of people moan about Liverpool's midfield, Liverpool's this, Liverpool's that. Tonight, you could see how much they were missing. Of course, Jota from the team. But Sadio Mane, not in the squad, not in the team, because, of course, he's left. Outputs. I've been talking about this for 5 years on social media. Of course, very unsuccessful people or people with very little futures focus on ability over output. They focus on style over substance. But without substance to your play, you are never going to achieve. And Liverpool need to sort this out very quickly indeed, because there's already a 4-point gap between them and Manchester City. And that 4-point gap it may not feel like a big thing right now. There's loads of football to be played. City will, of course, drop points this year. It's almost impossible that they will not. But it's a 4-point gap after 2 games. That is already a big advantage. The 2 times Liverpool have missed out on the title in recent years, when in a title race with Pep Guardiola's team, it's been a point or so that has been the difference between the 2 teams. 4-point gap this early is absolutely massive. And of course, we have to speak about Darwin Nunez. We have to speak about Darwin Nunez because this is a player I rate. This is a player I think who is talented. This is a player that I think has the ability to really achieve. But his home debut, maybe injuries forced the hand a little bit tonight of Jurgen Klopp, but he wasn't ready. He missed 3 absolute sitters and didn't just miss them. I mean, one of his shots was so bad, it almost led to an accidental handball by the Crystal Palace player. There was a chance in the first half of the back post. It looked like it just went over until you saw the replay. And this thing went up in the air vertically. 3 big misses and then an absolutely unprofessional, insubordinate, disgraceful red card. Disgraceful red card. And Liverpool fans, I saw it on the timeline. I had DMs about it. I can see you guys in the comments already. Darwin Nunez let his team down massively tonight. He let Liverpool down. He let Jurgen Klopp down. It was a crazy red card. And essentially, it cost you the game because you still had the chance. You scored after that. You still had the chances, but you just missed. You just missed that extra man. Now he misses 3 games. You'll win your next one. you beat Man United. Don't you worry yourselves about that. But it's 3 games without your record-breaking striker. There are, of course, other injuries in other departments. And maybe the lack of transfer activity, maybe these injuries that have come in early, and now this red card from Darwin Nunez. Could Liverpool be throwing away their title chances in the opening games of the season? Are they giving themselves a massive uphill task to be able to maintain a run-in with Manchester City, who are 6 from 6, who are 2-0, who normally themselves start seasons slowly, and they haven't done so thus far? Arsenal looking very good as well. Chelsea looking very good also. And listen, Man United have had the worst start in our history to a league. Liverpool already. No, I'm joking. It's not as bad. You're nowhere near as bad as Man United. Does it make me feel any better? Absolutely not. We're here to be unbiased on the terrace. But Liverpool have got to sort it out quickly. They've got to sort it out quickly because it's points. It's minute inches that are the difference between the best and the worst team. The best teams that win the leagues and the also runs. Not the best and the worst teams. That's an exaggeration. But this much will separate the teams at the top, and Liverpool need to do better. I'm going to go to some of your comments coming in here. I want to know what you're thinking and what you're feeling, but make sure the like button is smashed. If we hit 1,200 likes while we're live, I'm giving away 100 free memberships tonight. That's nearly £300 I'm going to give to you, the audience. How many other YouTubers are giving you memberships? Themselves paying the money out of the back pocket. You can name me them. I'll double it and do 200. I bet you can't. 1,200 likes. And I'm giving away those memberships tonight to you, my beautiful, wonderful Football Terrace community for free. We've got Zane to come on. We've got Rack to come on. We've got man like JJ backstage as well, all ready to have their say. So stay with us for that. Let's do these comments here. Daniel here. Long time no see, Daniel. Says disappointing draw and Nunez really silly, but happy with how the 10 played. It's clear how much we need Thiago against low blocks. It's clear how much you need Thiago, and it's clear how much you need another midfield player. You really do need another midfield player. Every Liverpool fan should be demanding FSG spend. Your 10 men did brilliantly tonight. I think you're absolutely spot on with that analysis. Nunez is an awful footballer, horrendous on the ball. I have to say tonight, he was atrocious. Honestly, atrocious tonight. It was one of the worst home debuts. I mean, the worst Liverpool home debut since Joe Cole is what I'd say. Honestly, so far, I think top four could be City, Chelsea, Arsenal, Spurs at this rate. What a fantastic goal by Diaz, though. Wouldn't mind Zaha at Chelsea. Look, I think Liverpool are still fine. I still think Liverpool are going to be in this title race. I would not be writing Liverpool Football Club out of the top four at this moment in time, especially not for Tottenham Hotspur. If Tottenham and Liverpool are fighting out for that fourth spot, we know whose arsehole's going first, don't we? We know, by the way, someone said to me the other day, they don't know what Cockney rhyming slang is. Bottle means you're bottling it. Bottle means arse. Bottle and glass is Cockney rhyming slang. When your arse goes, it means you're shitting yourself, right? Spurs bottle will go. Their backside will go before Liverpool's every day of the week. Pains me to say that as a red, but there we go. Hey, Terry, I know it's 2 games, but you can't be behind City. Meanwhile, my team and Conte and Peditici are going great guns. I make no mistakes. Peditici was the best signing Levy made. Let me say this to you now. Directors of football are so key when it comes to how the running of a football club is sometimes more important nowadays than the manager. Directors of football do a lot of the jobs that the old school managers used to do. They're very, very, very important indeed. You're right there, my friend. Liverpool have seven first team players injured. Now Darwin out. Be lucky to finish top 4. Well, they're not out for the whole season, are they? Like they're slow down. Everybody else is going to get injuries as well. That will even itself out. But 4 points dropped already. It's a tough one. Sorry, I already had that one here. Terry predicted Spurs would drop from the top 4 from last season's top 4. Looks like a shocker team might be Liverpool. Could be, Jaden. I'm not writing Liverpool off. I think you would be a fool to write Liverpool Football Club off now. I think that would be crazy. Nunez got baited so easily, but I think Diaz saved Liverpool. Another ball and off the ball for the goal and the trap back, and only United points ahead. Only United points ahead of United. I don't know what that means. I mean, 2 points ahead of United, I know. But listen, I'm not laughing. My club is dead. We can't pass the ball. At least Liverpool play good football. Like, Liverpool fans won't be panicking in terms of their season because the ball was good. They just got to start finishing their dinner. For all the meltdowns at United, if they win at the week, in some alternate universe, they'll go above Liverpool. Zaha was good, but missed easy sitters. Listen, Zaha was Zaha tonight. Great goal and finish for the lead. But then tackled himself 3 or 4 times in good positions and missed an absolute sitter. That's why Wilfried Zaha is not a top 6 player. Simple and as straightforward as that for me. I mean that as well. And by the way, listen, if Man United beat Liverpool next week, firstly, I'll eat my hat. Secondly, it don't even matter. They'll catch us up very, very quickly. Listen, I'll celebrate the win. Don't get me wrong. But I wouldn't read anything into that at all. Spurs Talk Show says, how are you saying it's between Spurs and Liverpool to bottle fourth? The biggest bottle jobs are Arsenal. I was going by that person's rankings, and he had Spurs in fourth. So I was saying if it's Spurs and Arsenal fighting out for fourth based on that super chatter's logic and thoughts. So I was speaking purely in a very isolated world of that super chatter as opposed to the reality of the situation, my friend. So don't read too much into it. It's purely responding to a super chat as I'm doing to you now. I'm talking to you personally about what you're saying as opposed to what the other 3,605 people currently watching the Football Terrace are thinking. Moose Wizard says, let's enjoy Liverpool's slow start after both cup finals last year. That was brutal, is what man's got to say. Grimy here says, Liverpool got so much better when they stopped crossing and higher balls to Noodles. I did think Liverpool looked better when they went down to 10 men. I don't even want to laugh, but it's kind of true. What would Klopp blame for this loss today? Atmospheric pressure, climate change, stratospherical moisture. If I speak, massive 6 point next. Listen, it's true. I didn't tweet this. I've got it saved. I was going to tweet if Liverpool lost. I was going to say Man United and Liverpool are in a relegation 6 pointer next week, which would be true based on points. Can you imagine? Bottom two teams in the league are Man United and Liverpool. That'd be a first. Listen, I don't know if Man United and Liverpool ever played each other in the Prem. 1 on 0 points, 1 on 2 points after 3 games plus. Never happened. There'll be a news article about it somewhere. If Liverpool aren't careful, it might be the repeat of the 2021 season. Arsenal, Spurs, and Chelsea are strong. Look, they will need to start scoring. There's no doubt. But I don't think you start to write Liverpool Football Club off now. That's just my take. Of course, you are all entitled to your very humble opinions. We don't do echo chambers on this channel. We just simply don't do it. It's not our way. It's not the way we operate. It's not what we do. Do me a big favor, though, people, and make sure like buttons are being smashed. Make sure you are subscribing to the Football Terrace. It's very, very important to us that you get that done now. You turn the bell notifications on. We're going to share the link now in the live comment section. I want to hear from you. I want to know what you're thinking and what you're feeling and saying. Call in now. I'm sharing it. I'm also going to pin it into the live comment section as well to hear from you because I want to hear. I want to know what Liverpool fans are thinking and feeling right now. First up on the show tonight, we're going to go to Rack. Rack's in the house. Big Liverpool fan, as we know. What you saying, mate?
Yeah, I'm good, Tel. Bit of a disappointing game. Deflating start to the season. Look at that big smile. Didn't see that on Saturday, did you?
No, you didn't. Oh, no, you didn't. Yeah, what you saying?
Look. Yeah, not great. I would have hoped we would have been doing better. It just hasn't been working for us, unfortunately, so far. The intensity hasn't been there, and it's a little bit puzzling to know why that's the case. But you know, I'm sure it will come. There has been a bit of a turnover. Nunez coming in has changed the way we play, and so it may take some getting used to. But we'll be okay. People are getting way ahead of themselves. They're trying to say that Liverpool are going to finish outside the top 4 and stuff like that. We will come eventually. But yeah, it's I can't say it's deflating.
But of course it's deflating because you know as well as I do that the league has been changed by you and Manchester City in terms of points totals. Teams don't let up, and you've got to start good, you've got to continue to be good, and you've got to end well because that's the precedent that Pep Guardiola has set. And you know as well as I do, there's a 4-point gap already. And although City could lose next weekend and you win and it's 1 point, you're going to still lose more games or lose more points this year. There's already a 4-point gap. And, you know, you'd have loved to have been where Arsenal are right now or Spurs or Chelsea, those sort of three to 4, 6 points and be there or thereabouts. But, you know, you do something crazy and lose to Man United on Monday, you could suddenly find yourselves 7+ points. You get what I mean? And then suddenly that gap's starting to open up. I don't think you will, but there's always that added bit of pressure now, especially if because you play last, especially if City win, Chelsea win, Spurs win, Arsenal win this week, this coming weekend. Suddenly, the pressure to win is very different for you.
It's a very real possibility. I'm not going to deny that. Historically, City have been the ones that start a little bit on the slow side, and we've been good starters in recent years. So the shoe's on the other foot. But City have come back and have done well, and we've proved that when we're at our best, we can go toe to toe with them. We were 13 points or something like that behind them last season, and we narrowed it down to 1 point. Still plenty of points to play for. Still a long way to go for the rest of the season. I'm not going to throw my toys out of the pram just yet. Other people will, and that's their prerogative. Everyone's entitled to their opinion, but we live to fight another day.
I get that. And final question: Klopp out? It's a joke.
Of course.
Listen, Rack, always a pleasure to speak. Where are you? Are those curtains behind you? Are you in it looks like you're in a nice straw shack on a beach.
No, I'm puppy sitting. I'm looking after my mate's dog. So
let me see. Let me see her. Let me see the dog. What is it?
It's him.
Proper dog?
Buster.
Oh,
what is he? There he is. He's Cavapoo.
Oh, look at that. Man's puppy sitting. You know, man's middle class when he's puppy sitting, you know. Listen, Rack, you take care, mate, and we'll chat soon. Top man. I like a dog. Who doesn't like a dog? You know where you stand for dog, don't you? Do you know what I mean? Terry, your bottle goes every day of the week. Stop disrespecting Tottenham. You are nowhere near unbiased in regards to Tottenham. You liar. All right, Johnny, be good. I'm not a liar. I'm just telling you what I think and feel. I'm sorry that your feelings are so hurt. I'm sorry that you're unhappy. But it's not my fault that I don't think Spurs are finishing in the top 4 right now. What was Nunez doing, headbutting someone right in front of the ref? I mean, yeah, it's crazy. I mean, when you actually look back at it as well, you actually look at this, and it is crazy. It's absolutely crazy when you look at it. It really is. I mean, to do that is unbelievably stupid. Unbelievably stupid from Darwin Nunez. Cost his team points tonight. Check Fraser Fletcher's tweet ASAP. What a deal. I'll have a little check of that in a minute, my friend. 2020 replete. Klopp's style is too intense to sustain, is what Matthew's got to say. I mean, I don't know if it's too intense to sustain because, I don't know, I just pressed the wrong button on my screen then. They've done pretty well so far. Loves Music says you'd have to be insane to write Liverpool off. They absolutely shattered my dreams in Madrid. I went to the Champions League final. For me, 1 City, 2 Liverpool, 3 Spurs. And if Chelsea get Aubameyang, Chelsea 3rd, Spurs 4th. I hear you on that. Really good take there, my friend. Next on the show, I'm going to go to JJ, Liverpool fan. What you saying, mate?
What's going on? How you doing, Terry, man?
I'm good, brother. Give me your thoughts on it. Firstly, welcome to making your debut on the Football Terrace. I've not seen you before, I don't think. So welcome. Give me your thoughts on the performance, the outcome, and obviously being 4 points behind City already.
I mean, where to start? I mean, let me try to be a bit positive. So the performance in the first 20 minutes was maybe 30 minutes was a bit better than it was against Fulham. There was a bit more intensity to our play. We did start on the front foot. That very, very quickly changed. Ran the back, we're passing it around really, really slow. There's no, as Rack said, the intensity to our games really, really dropped off. I was going into this game thinking, you know what, poor game against Fulham. We didn't turn up, but we didn't lose. We showed a bit of character there. We come to this game now, and I mean, still, there wasn't that bite from the team. I saw Verge looking, and I'm the biggest Verge fan, but he's looking, he's more stressed out than usual. You see him barking out orders, he's shouting. Usually he's the most calm player on the pitch. I'm looking around now, and I don't see where our style goes and how it's conducive to going and challenging City and overcoming that 1 point margin that we've always lost to. When you look at the season we've won the league, and I'm going to say this straight out, we went and won the league when City were poor, when they had injuries, when they fell off, when they started really, really slowly, and we blitzed teams. And it got to a point where it was like, we just won every game. Now, every season, we're dropping off by 1.2 points. This 4 points now does suggest to me that, I mean, for me, the league's done. The league is done because we've dropped 4 points now. We're going to drop more points in the future. City can go on runs, and we've seen it 10, 12, 11, 12, 13 games where they don't lose. Now, does that mean we're going to go and finish out the top 4? Like, no, let's calm it down. Let's calm it down. But there's a serious conversation to be had about how do Liverpool make that next step and prevent City from doing a three-peat, a double, and going on a double themselves. I mean, it is stressful. But as Rack said, I'm not going to throw my toys at the pram at the moment. But
I get, but yeah, you're not going to do it straight away. But I get where you're coming from. You know, we've had Dom Hussam on the show this summer. He has been cooked by Liverpool fans for being angry that more purchases weren't made. Do you think that's what this comes down to? Make it. I know you've got 7 injuries, which is excessive, but is this a case of instead of just buying youngsters, if you'd have gone out? I mean, I've read something from Fred Fletcher that Matheus Nunes is about to sign for Wolves for £45 million. There's Casado available. Basuma was available this year. Yuri Tillemans has been available this year. Should Liverpool have gone out and bought more players, in your opinion?
I mean, 100%. You look at last season, the season that we went and competed on all fronts, and do you know what I mean? We're challenging for the quad, even though we didn't get it. Our squad was at its strongest in terms of depth. In terms of, we might have not had the quality, but we had Minamino, we had Origi, we had Nico Williams that we didn't send out on loan, we had Nat Phillips. You go and look at these players now. We got rid of a lot of those players and haven't replaced them. Now you look at the midfield situation. I mean, you can argue and say, yeah, we could get a player in, and yeah, we would have had a body in this game, right? But what we've seen is we've gotten a KR, we've gotten an Ox, we've gotten a Thiago, replaced Genie with these players. And now you're looking at it, and is that going to go and change the way we go and play? No, it just means we've got a bigger pool of players. Now you've got the issue of player kind of, do you know what I mean, that satisfaction and then giving them game time. Klopp doesn't really like that, and he was complaining a lot last season about the depth that he had. I mean, wow, I can't give Minamino time, etc., etc. It's a system issue. It's a system issue because you're relying on players like Thiago in your system now, where he's coming out and talking about, I mean, I've learned to run under Klopp. Like, honestly, we have to scrap that because you're looking at a City team, and the way they go and play football means that when they come up against teams, they don't have to be as intense because they keep the ball. We play such a high line that it's like, you know what? Play that ball in behind you. We're going to go and use our pace to go and, you know, retrieve the ball back. And it's like this controlled chaos as opposed to just control. And you've even seen it. Although, Terry, you've said we've kept the ball, we dominated really well. We always looked under threat under Palace. It didn't look like Palace had no threat. It didn't look like Palace had no outball.
But one of the things that, listen, it's sometimes so hard to criticize Liverpool. The Football Terrace have got a really good community of Liverpool fans, but you do get those guys that, because they watch probably too much of the channels where everything is spun as positive all the time. You say you're a little bit susceptible to counterattacks. No, it's the way we play. We do it on purpose to lure teams in and count them, then catch them. Bruv, like, again, nearly every goal you concede is to a counterattack. And there's nothing, like, I look at Jurgen Klopp sometimes and think, why don't you, against certain teams like tonight, you're against Palace, they're full of pace, full of skill on the counter. Why don't you sit 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 yards deeper as an example? I think buying more players helps, but it's adjusting that system ever so slightly to make it work. When you're a possession-based system like Pep, I kind of get not changing it. But even with him, there's times where he's lost games in the Champions League because he hasn't kind of changed up a little bit. And sometimes that's where Jurgen Klopp can be frustrating. And look, Van Dijk isn't as formidable as he was 3 years ago. Listen, he's still probably the best centre-back in the world. But that's 2 games in the opening 2 games running now, opening games of the season, where I feel like he has been culpable for goals being conceded, turned inside out by Mitrovic, and tonight just should have got closer and quickly closer to Zaha and didn't. And again, if that was any other defender, they'd be getting ridiculed. I know he's been the best in the world for a few years, but he needs that criticism as well. And there's those little things just kind of letting Liverpool down. And you're still going to come in the top 2, in my opinion, no matter what. But you know as well as I do, bruv, your football club only deals in trophies. And if you're coming second, you're failing. And like, what would you do between now and the end of the transfer window to try and change this if you were in charge, mate?
I mean, I'd get a player in 100. I'd get a couple players in 100%. If I had just, you know what I mean, the big treasure box, I'd go and get a midfielder and get a forward, because clearly there's an issue in regards to fitness, and you can't go and rely, especially in the midfield, for how good Thiago is. You cannot go and rely on him. He's become so integral to our play that we just can't play our proper game without him anymore. And that's the worrying thing. You have a Keita there; he's always unfit. And I know last season people will say, you know what, he was available for more games. He had a decent season, but I'd counter that and say no, he was just more available than he was any other season. He wasn't standout. He wasn't great. He scored a goal in one game and then conceded in the other game. I think getting a midfielder is crucial. I think it is.
Mate, completely agree with you. Listen, JJ, great debut, brilliant thoughts and feelings, mate. It's good to hear a fan come on and actually give opinions. It's rather than trying to be a pundit per se, which I absolutely love, bruv. Definitely get you on again soon, my friend.
Yeah, appreciate it, Terry.
Man, cheers, my guy. Listen, if you want to phone into the terrace, that is how you do it. Have something to say. Come on and say it. Don't beat about the bush. Give your opinions. Absolute top class call. We've got Stephen to come on. We've got some Gooners. We've got some Spurs fans backstage as well. But man like Zane back on the terrace for a new season. Before we go any further, though, make sure you're smashing that like button. What we on? It's nearly 700. Let's get that past that 1,000 mark, bare minimum on the channel. Zane's here with me. What you saying, brother? You're on mute, my friend. Unmute.
Yeah, you can tell Rusty had a nice break over the summer. Blew the cobwebs off the mic. Boy, right, before I start, because I've got some controversial things, because I disagree with a lot of what people said. Now, before I say them, I just want to qualify that man knows what he's talking about. Because man made some key statements last summer. Liverpool World Cup team. What happened, bruv? 2 cups, right? Bear man will like, shut up, Zane, what are you talking about? I told you, Man City, from like when they were 5th place, they're going to win the league. When Chelsea are running away, Bear man are getting excited, hyping up Tuchel masterclass. Man people got found out. So
Zane. Missing out on a league title by 1 point doesn't make you a cup team.
What did we win? I'd talk about the results. I'm not talking about the ins and outs.
A cup team are a team that are nowhere near winning a league title, but do very well in cups. You can't call Liverpool football.
Oh, man, look, chill out, man. You're tricking already. But anyway, let me get onto my takes about the game. I actually am quite positive, right? I liked a lot what you saw in the first half an hour. I like the fact that, as you say about Liverpool, against low block teams, were quite predictable and quite easy to control in terms of, all men behind the ball. At least now we've got different options fresh. Obviously, they got a bit carried away, a bit excited, but I'm telling you, this is the first thing I want to say, which people are going to think, shut up, then what are you talking about? Nunez, he's going to be all right this season. He's just come to the league. It's a different league to Portugal, right? So you've got to let the brother adapt and acclimatise. And I think there's a good lesson to him today to get old school, because Anderson mastered the dark arts. He's like a Ramos, bruv. So Anderson, you did your job, bruv. You wind him up, and ultimately he'll learn from this. He'll come better. But the main thing is, at least he's getting into the positions, bruv. Because at the end of the day, a lot of times nothing's happening. And what I don't want to hear is all you Mane fanboys talking about, if Mane was here. Relax yourselves. He's gone to the Bundesliga. That's not the same level. That league is not on the same level as the Premier League. So if he bangs in goals for Bayern Munich, who are basically run the whole league and they buy all the best players, relax. This is Liverpool. This is the Premier League. Nunez is going to be fine. I disagree with all the man saying he's not a baller than that, because fundamentally, what are your qualifications, bro? Because, boy, from my point of view, I can see the potential. So maybe not this season, next season. And I've got to pull you up, Terry. Do you need glasses, bro? Because it was Phillips at fault for the goal, bro. What? He's the one that was right next to Zar, playing him on side. So
look, Phillips played his
allow Van Dijk with the agenda already, bro. You've got to relax with that, man. At least back it up with some facts. In this case, you were wrong.
I did back it. Listen, Phillips played a part in it. Of course he did. But
he played the guy on side, and it's because of Phillips. That basically is Zaha's fault.
Nate Phillips is a championship level defender. You've got the
League
best.
One, I'd say League One.
Okay, League One. Then that makes it even more. You prove my point even more. Virgil van Dijk is the best centre back in the world. He got across too slowly. didn't put enough pressure on, didn't get close enough, and had the time to do it. He's no slouch. He didn't do it.
I'm so sorry, Terry. Based on what? I'm sorry, man. Zaha is a quick player, and unfortunately, he's not superhuman, bruv. He's not going to get back right. But one thing that I highlight to make my point actually rebunk what you just said. Why did we start playing better? When we got rid of Matt Phillips, suddenly Gomez was bullying Zaha. Before then, I'm not going to lie.
Well, that's fine. But listen, that's fine. It doesn't. You being better when Gomez came on doesn't mean that Van Dijk didn't play a part in that goal. Equally, talk about your manager, bruv. Your manager decided to not play Joe Gomez and play Nate Phillips. Like, that ain't on me. Like, that's on your manager.
Obviously, there's some injury concerns, obviously. And look, like I said, and one thing, Terry, have I not been bitching and moaning about a midfielder since the start of last season? You said, oh, Zane, why are you not going to win the league? I said, because our midfield is not enough. We are missing key midfield players, right? I said it consistently last year. Now suddenly all people are jumping back, going, oh, we need a midfielder. No shit, Sherlock. Where have you been last season, bro? That's the whole reason why I've been saying we ain't going to win the league, because City, they've won the league, bro. Haaland, he's gonna be such a beast in the Premier League, bro. He's gonna break records. He's gonna be, if he stays healthy, that is. But with Klopp, I don't know why you're attacking Klopp, because from my point of view, he's.
I'm not attacking Klopp. You turned around and said we played better when Joe Gomez came on. My question is, why didn't Klopp start him?
Because he wasn't obviously fit enough to last the whole game, and you don't know.
Nonsense. If you're fit enough to come on with 30 minutes to go, you're fit enough to play a game.
Based on what, Terry?
Based on my knowledge of the game.
But I think anyway, to the season, right? This is what's going to happen. We'll come second, because as I've said last year and saying it now consistently, name me one team apart from Man City and Liverpool that can go on a 10-12 winning game streak, because fundamentally we'll sort our stuff out. Like Rack said about Man City, they're notoriously known for starting slow, but then they're like a train to keep going. We've proven countless times, and even these past 2 games, from a losing position, we still managed to get a draw. So all those people that are getting excited, relax. We'll come second. Hopefully, we'll do well in the Champions League. But from my point of view, all your rivals out there, you guys are fighting for 3rd and 4th, man, because Man City first and we're second, bro. And I don't understand. You can't see that, Terry, yourself, bro. You can see it, can't you?
Well, listen, I still think you guys have got a really good chance of doing something special this year. I wouldn't write you off at this point. I just wouldn't do that. Zane, thank you for coming on, mate, and having your say. I really appreciate it, bro. Top man, thank you. We've got some super chats to take a little look at here. The first one says, hi, Terry, American here. Started watching the Premier League, looking for franchise to support. Is Man United a good franchise to support? I heard they have cool merch. No real Man United fan buys Man United merch. Spurs will get top 4. Conte's reputation means more to him than anything. Serial winner. A trophy would elevate him further. He's absolutely relentless, is what Loves Music has got to say. It's a good point. A red card for a headbutt, but not for pulling hair. I know, it's outrageous. Thank you, JT Taylor, for that super chat. He didn't say anything after it, but thank you very much for donating. We've got a Palace fan coming on now. I haven't spoken to my brother D in a long time. How are you, mate?
I'm good, bro. I'm good. How you been?
I'm well. I'm very, very well. A good point for you tonight. Zaha could have won it at the end. You know what I mean? You guys got Darwin Nunez suspended for 3 games as well. But a good performance, a good point. Give me your thoughts on the game, mate.
Look, going into the game, I didn't really have any expectations. You're facing Liverpool after the performance they had against Fulham. You would expect them to go bounce back. So the expectations for Palace wasn't really there. But we changed it up. We had a back 5. And I feel like we've done yes, we did get lucky at times. But I feel like we've done a pretty decent job trying to nullify Liverpool's attack in terms of what they like doing with balls over the top. To the far post as well. I thought we've done a relatively good job. And talking about it on the other end, I was worried about our attack, but what a goal from Zaha. But we could have, towards the end of the game, Zaha had opportunities to actually win it as well. So I feel like both sides were on point. And I feel like Palace changing it caused Liverpool problems. But Palace, in a funny way, I'm kind of disappointed. Not disappointed. I'm kind of sad that we didn't get all 3 points. We kind of got nervous, and Liverpool got into the game after the red card, after the Andy Carroll lookalike got that red card, and then afterwards, we just couldn't get into the game as much. And despite that, we created chances still.
You did, mate, and that miss from Zaha at the end, for a lot of rivals of Liverpool's and City fans, especially because of the title race, was how did that not kind of go in? But this is a good point because most teams, probably barring City, don't come to Anfield and expect to walk away with anything. I wanted to ask your opinion, no footballing opinion. Darwin Nunez, I mean, missed 2 or 3 really good chances, got himself sent off. Is he ready to be starting for a team like Liverpool right now in the Prem?
The funny thing is, the first time I did watch Nunez was with you and Lyles. For that, it was a Champions League game, Liverpool against Benfica. And he did, and he did have a few chances there. He was offside, but I'll be real. Since he joined Liverpool, I've had question marks whether he can do it in the Premier League. I don't know if this is a type of signing which is not exactly hype. He has got some talent in him, but he hasn't convinced me from what I've seen entirely. I feel like he could be a good player in the long run, potentially, but I haven't quite bought into him yet. You saw it today as well. With the back five, at times he did get frustrated. He was stupid to do that on Joachim Andersen in the first place, headbutt. I don't know what he's thinking, but you can see that he was frustrated as the game went on. And in the long run, half of me says he could be a success, but I haven't bought into it yet. Like, there hasn't been that convincing in my head that, this is going to be the player for Liverpool going forward. I feel like, you know what? Mane scored every single time against us. Not having Mane in this game, despite all the talent they had, it helped us. And I feel like Mane is still a miss to Liverpool. And bringing in Nunez for Mane and expecting the same production straight away, it is going to be hard. But you know what? That Luis Diaz guy, we've seen it ever since he joined. He looks like a threat. But Nunez, I don't know, man. Terry, I'm not entirely convinced. I'm not. I don't know if he'll be. I'm 50-50 about it.
Listen, I totally get it, mate. And I think he's a very talented guy. He's very, very raw. But I've been talking about this since I've been on socials. Outputs matter. And it doesn't matter whether people think Mane was a world-class technician or not. He scored goals. He was clutch at times. And if it wasn't Salah, it was him. If it wasn't him, it was Salah. And listen, Diaz came up with a great goal today. But you need to score goals. You need to put the ball in the back of the net. There hasn't been a top-class attacking player, inside forward or striker, in the last 30 years that didn't have good to very good to world-class GA. You need it. You've got to score. You've got to assist. And, he had 3 sitters today. 3 times he got in front of your goal. And I went, it's a goal. And he didn't just miss. He barely hit the ball. Like the way he fumbled, one of the shots went backwards. Like the man put backspin on it like he was Tiger Woods. I was like, how did he do that? I've never seen a goal like that in my life. And I think that for me is where, when you start to transition a squad, sometimes it might take Darwin Nunez a year or 2 to get up to date with the pace. I thought he's been very good the 2 times he's come on from the bench, but starting in a Premier League game is a different kettle of fish, and it's going to be interesting to see where he goes.
The only real connection he had with Joachim Andersen's head, like that was the only. Apart from that, like he did have the moments where he could potentially score, but he wasn't that guy in front of goal. But look, Terry, we don't want to sit here and write out Nunez because it's still early. Look, they've only played 2 games. He might be getting used to the system, but and his attitude, he might be getting used to the Premier League as well. But it seems like it has already caught up to him in this game in terms of like the pressure. And I've seen it between him and Haaland where they're both, of course, Haaland for me is the better player. There's no doubt about that. But it seems like both of them really want to score them goals. And I think out of them, Haaland wins it because he can deal with the pressure. Whereas Nunez, he's got more of a point to prove because Haaland's done it before. Like we know what Haaland's quality is, but Nunez, he's a guy that, all right, it's not last. He's a guy that just came out the block and it's like, all right, he's at Liverpool now. What are you going to do? Whereas Haaland, he doesn't have that pressure. So can he hack the pressure as well? That's another thing. That was so silly because he's going to miss the game against Man United, which is so important for both teams, especially a game like that where he could have proved himself. So how's he going to react to this red card? Is he going to come back after the 3 games all composed, or is he going to have even more pressure to go and be successful and score in front of goals? That's the thing about Liverpool. But saying about that, Liverpool's still a quality side, and I feel like they will do well. But so far, what we've seen, and I know it's only 2 game weeks, the quality's up there. The quality's up there. Arsenal, a side that we've bantered about for the last few years. They seem like they're kicking on. You see Tottenham, they look like they look half decent as well. So it's not going to be an easy ride for Liverpool this year. You know, City, I'm still convinced they will do their thing. But Liverpool dropping these points over Fulham and Palace, you expect them to do better. And it could come costly because when we talk about end of the season, it's always 1 point or 3 point or 4 point. And they've already dropped points. So it's going to be interesting from here onwards. And, you know, how they do against the likes of Arsenal, how they do the likes against Tottenham as well. Like, the pressure is not completely on, but the pressure's there already for Liverpool because this
they probably will, but they have to now beat Man United because they can't afford to drop 2 to 3 more points on everybody fighting out for this league title this early because it will be devastating for them. Listen, D, always a pleasure to talk, my brother. I'm sure we'll get you in the studio again soon. All the best, my guy. We'll speak again soon. Listen, people, we're nearly on 1,000 likes. Keep smashing that button for us, Liverpool fans. We want to hear from you. We want your thoughts. We want your feelings. Another disappointing night. The Nunez crazy red card. We want your take on it. I got a 1K bet with my mate. Leicester will finish higher than Liverpool by the end of December. He's laughing at me right now. I'm laughing all the way to the bank. Big up the channel. So JT, that is an extreme bet. So Leicester to be by the 31st of December to be in front of Liverpool. That's a bad bet. That's a bad bet. You might as well just super chatted the Football Terrace £1,000. Like, that would have been money well spent. You're just gonna make your friend richer. And you're better off making the terrace richer than your friend. But that is a big bet. I mean, I'll buy that bet off you if you want. I'll buy the bet off your friend. Tell your friend I'll buy the bet off him for £800 because then I'm making £200 profit for nothing. That's what I'll do. Roms is on the line now. Roms is a Liverpool fan. What are you saying, mate?
Thanks, so big up yourself, Tar. I've just come from the game, sitting in the cop, and let me tell you, from about 10-20 minutes in, we just had that feeling it wouldn't be our night. When we're creating a plethora of chances and they're just not going in, you know, you get that feeling as a fan. You hate admitting it to yourself, but you're like, we might not get the result we need here. To show resilience, to go 10 men down and to go to 10 men, show resilience to get back into the game. Luis Diaz was superb. And Nunez, on the other hand, he needs to at least be putting 1 out of 3 of them away, at least. But Klopp can't get away with this because we love Klopp.
You love us.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Okay.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, we love Klopp. He's our father, but this is on him today because the fact Gomez didn't start over Nat Phillips, and we've just awarded him a new contract. So for me, I'm thinking you shown full confidence into Gomez. He should now be starting. But the fact you put Nat Phillips, that's barely played a game in pre-season, in for Gomez, it just didn't make sense. And now that makes me think: did we just tie him down to a new contract to protect his resale value? Because how he didn't start tonight is beyond me. Again, Milner also, he's been excellent pre-season. We can't stand him in that sense, but I think Naby should have picked him in the starting 11 as well. I don't think Milner necessarily should have started this game, but it's just so frustrating to get 2 points off of a possible 6, and now to add even more pressure when we come to Old Trafford next Monday. It's just not really a position you want to be in, but it's frustrating that.
Mate, listen, I totally get it's a frustrating night, and I think that like so many people will understand where you're coming from and they'll feel it, especially being at the game as well. And listen, I was watching it and I was kind of sitting there like, oh, this could be one of those games where they huff and they puff and they just can't blow the door down. I didn't want to tweet it because I didn't want to like jinx it. Even when you guys were losing, I was like, I'm not even tweeting anything. I don't want to put any kind of jinx on it at all. Because of course, as a United fan, I don't really want Liverpool winning, but there just isn't that click up front. It's 2 games running where you've been the better team, you've created those openings, but you just haven't been able to put that ball in the back of the net like you would like to or you normally would, and that's got to improve. In terms of more players now, like one of the players you were linked with, Nunez, looks like he's going to Wolves. You know, there are other midfielders available. Like, do you feel like more players need to be purchased before the end of the window?
100%. But even before a ball had been kicked before the Fulham game, I felt we already needed one midfielder, possibly now even 2. And I know some people are saying we might need a forward. I'm not. Sorry, can you? Are you
Yeah, I can hear you, bro.
me again?
Yeah, I
Sorry,
can hear you,
it's
bro.
a bit. I'm not really too sold on the forward thing, but I think we need about 2 midfielders now because it's a very injury-prone midfield. We don't really have that combative midfielder. Fabinho, by the way, was excellent. I need to give him his forward. I think Fabinho was excellent. He did what he normally does. His intelligence, he was sweeping up play. But to answer your question, Tel, I feel like we need another 2 midfielders now. Honestly, that there's no real penetration. And one thing, this is to the Liverpool fan as well. Forget Mane now. He's gone. He's gone. Stop saying we miss Mane. He's gone. He's a Bayern Munich player. That there's nothing we can do about him. We wish him the best, but we are lacking that penetration as well. But I feel like we need about 2 8s now. Honestly.
Mate, I hear where you're coming from. I do. Rom's always a pleasure to talk, young man. I know you've got a long journey home. You got a long journey home tonight, and we'll chat to you again soon, bro. All the best there outside of Anfield, as you can see. Let's do some of your comments that are coming from here. Never should have sold Mane. That's the point. But you had no choice. Mane wanted to leave. When a player wants to go, there's often very little that you can do to keep the individual. You have to let him move on to pastures new. That's quite normal. It's just the way it works in football. Keeping unhappy players, and he would have become unhappy because he wanted to try something different. Good job you gave me a membership, Terry, but keep me happy. You will survive. Well, I just make my content. If you guys like it, you like it. I'll try to keep you happy. Member content, by the way, out tomorrow. Really good debate. Head-to-head show. Me and Jess on there. Make sure you're checking that out. You need to be a member to get it. So it'll be released first to squad members and above, and then to the academy members. It will be members only. If you're not a member, you will not be able to access it. So if you want to get yourself signed up, the link is in our description below. Go and check it out. Why, when every team loses a game, they are missing something? Sometimes it's just not their day. I think it's a really good point, actually. We ask the questions based on what we see fans talking about, and then the idea is to give an opinion based on it. So don't always treat the questions as our opinions on football per se. But I think, look, when I look at this sort of stuff, when I kind of go through this, I sort of feel a little bit like it's 2 games running and they just haven't had the clinical edge up front throughout the entirety of the game. Are they missing Mane? Some people may say no. It might just be a case of new people being bled in and they'll catch up and they'll make them goals up later on in the season. But it's always going to be a question that fans come out with. It's how fans think. It's as simple as that. 2 draws in 2 hasn't been your week, is what Wayne's got to say here. Draws feel like a loss for Liverpool. If you're a top 6 club, every draw should feel like a loss. Unless like you're like crazy, you're away at the Etihad, you're 2-0 down, you come back in the last 10 minutes, that might feel different. But generally, drawing is losing for big teams, generally speaking. We're going to speak to a Spurs fan. Josh is on the line. What are you saying, mate? You're on mute, my bro.
Good to make my debut on this channel.
Nice. What are you here to say, bro?
I'm just here to say, I think, look, this weekend we got to see a couple of fantastic games. Match day 2, I think we're about to see. We've just seen. And look, as I'm a Spurs fan, I'm a football fan. And look, a lot of people have been coming to me and telling me my DMs, look, you guys definitely should not have gotten that draw against Chelsea. And I'm not saying we deserved it. Absolutely not. I think every single football fan out there, no matter who you support, can tell, okay, look, Spurs did not deserve it. But at the end of the day, it's not what the ref says. It's not what VAR says. It's what the score sheet says. And if the score sheet says 2-2, it's 2-2. It is what it is. I mean, there's been many times where Tottenham have conceded unfair goals. Chelsea being conceding unfair goals. But it is what it is. That's football. I think in terms of the Premier League in general, this season is going to be an insane season. I think I heard earlier on that you said that you don't think Tottenham makes top 4. Just correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah, right now, I don't think you do know.
Yeah. So look, fair point. I personally do not see Tottenham or Arsenal making top 3. That's for sure. 100%. I do not see any of us making top 3. It's just that it's just Chelsea are always going to be above Arsenal and Tottenham for at least next season, until next season, because of the squad depth they have. The thing that Arsenal are now going to struggle, and I can promise you that they're now going to struggle about this, is their squad depth. They're going into Europa League, playing 2 matches a week, and they're going to struggle. Yes, they've got some quality starting players. I agree. I'm not saying they don't. But when they come to playing, Roma in the Europa League, or I'm not sure whoever in the Europa League, they come to face them. But then they've got City in the weekend. That's not going to work. It's not going to work. They need to know that they're going to very much struggle, and that's what Tottenham edges it for me. Obviously, I'm biased, a little slightly biased towards Tottenham, obviously. But point is, I feel like Tottenham this season have made the depth much stronger, because my man Winks or Matt Doherty would come off the bench against Chelsea and we would have conceded an extra 2 goals. But this time round, it completely flipped, and we brought in Perisic, we brought on Basuma, and we brought on, some quality players and Richarlison, players that will change the game instantly. I mean, you look at Arsenal, and I'm trying to think, okay, they're losing 2-0 to Chelsea. Okay, who are they bringing on? Who are they bringing on? I've got no idea. Who do you think?
Sorry, say that again?
I'm saying Arsenal are losing 2-0 to Chelsea. Yeah. They need squad depth. They're starting their current start, like the best starting lineup. Who are they bringing on to change the game?
Look, man, that's a really good point. I mean, look, when people are fit, Smith Rowe is a player that can come on and change things. Look, they've got Eddie Nketiah. They've put a lot of faith in him. And I think the one thing I would say about this, I don't think Eddie Nketiah is that great, but Arteta hasn't got that much wrong in the transfer market so far. Yes, his early signings didn't work out, but they moved them on quickly. Players they gave new deals to didn't work out. They moved them on quickly. New people are coming in. They've got a long way to go, and I still think they need a signing or 2 more to fulfill their absolute full potential. In terms of what I've seen so far, listen, Spurs are going to have a very good season. Do I think they're going to finish in front of Chelsea or Arsenal right now, or Liverpool or City? Absolutely, I don't right now. However, that could change based on the window, based on injuries, based on other things moving forward. But right now, that's how I kind of see it. But I think you made some really good points tonight, mate. I really, really do. I just wanted to clarify what you were saying there. And I think for me, this is what's so brilliant. The season started. There's still so much conjecture. There's still so much jeopardy. There's still so many opinions out there that people want to put out. Listen, my man. Listen, great call. Make sure you're calling into the show again and having your say. Really appreciate it. Top, man. Thank you. Viewers, make sure like buttons are being smashed and you're subscribing to the Football Terrace. Another Liverpool fan on there. Stephen's with us. What you saying, mate?
Right, Terry, good to see you again. Yeah, that didn't really go as expected to plan again. Had to live through that to next week. I don't know, for you two as well. I just don't know. I feel like these draws that we're getting, including last season, have sort of killed us in a way. Yes, we still finished second, and you can think, yeah, we can still go on and have a good season, but in terms of the Premier, I just think that this season for me is getting to the stage where these draws will cost you, and we can't afford to drop anymore. Because I feel like in the past, a draw you would have took a draw in a really hypothetical way, but at the moment, at this moment in time, if you drop points, that's almost like you're losing the title to me, and I don't think I can take it anymore, because I feel like it's good having a title race, but you can't keep it up if City are going to keep winning, because that will kill the league, in my opinion. And who else will compete? I think Spurs, Arsenal, and Chelsea are a bit to look at the moment to see how good at the moment, how good they are at the moment. But I feel like some of them will drop off at this moment in time. For Liverpool wise, we're gonna have Firmino out next week. We're gonna have Nunez out potentially out for the next 3 games. You're gonna potentially see Salah, Diaz, and Carvalho up front. In my opinion, that could be the front 3, and then there's no one else to bring on the bench, or else you put Elliott alongside Salah and Diaz. And I feel like it's almost a must-win game, in my opinion, against Man United, because if you don't win that, then you're really under pressure, and you really think, is this Liverpool team up to the standards that it was last season? For me, there's a few players that need to almost carry that gel well. Look at Nunez, look at Diaz, big shoes to fill, for Mane, like, you know what I mean? And if we just need to fix up, mate. If we don't fix up soon, then we can just for me, we can just kiss the tail goodbye, in my opinion. But look, there's still a long way to go. It's only August. There's still about 9 months to go, so we'll just see how it goes.
Yeah, look, there's a long way to go still. I get the disappointment. I would say to Liverpool fans, I wouldn't be writing things off right now, but I do get that frustration. I really, really do. Top man, Steve, all the best, mate. We'll speak again soon. Thank you. Prime says, I wish Sam came on. Yeah, he was going to call in tonight. I don't know. He didn't. He's doing his thing. Daniel's here. What are you saying, Daniel?
Yeah, hi, Terry. How are you? You all right?
I'm good. Who do you support, Daniel?
I'm an Arsenal fan, remember?
Yes, I do now. Now you've said it, I remember. What are you here to say about Liverpool's draw tonight?
I feel like Liverpool, yes, they should be disappointed, rightfully so. Like 2 games in and only 2 draws. These, traditionally speaking, they should be looking to win these 2 games. They should be they should be a bit disappointed right now. But it's really important that we don't judge Darwin Nunez just yet. He needs more time. There's always this habit of being way too reactionary to things. Man City needs to give Haaland some time. United needs to give Ten Hag some time. Chelsea needs to give Bowley some time. Liverpool needs to give Nunez some time. And depending on how you look at it, Tottenham needs to give Conte a little bit more time as well. There's always that ethos of just like wait to see things out and just give them more time. With Darwin Nunez, I'm thinking maybe start putting your foot down come January if he's not performing, and then if nothing positive happens, then start at the end of the season start looking to take slightly more action regarding Darwin Nunez. But for now, just give more time and just wait for him to integrate. But I'm saying now, this is a big learning curve for him. But I'm saying they need to drop him in future games to hold him accountable so that he can learn from this experience. Just drop him from now and then slowly begin to integrate and to awaken the hunger and desire for him to bring him into the team.
Listen, I think that the time element is key for a lot of people, especially in the modern day game. There's no doubt. Daniel, great call, great points, my friend. We'll chat again soon. Thank you for calling in, brother. We'll chat. Thank you. Listen, great points being made. Josh is here now. He's an Arsenal fan. What are you saying, Josh?
Yo, Terry, what are you saying, man? Yeah, what are you saying? Are you good?
I'm good, brother. I'm good. Like, what are you here to say? What are you here to say?
Just quickly talk about Arsenal quick, then I'll bounce onto the Liverpool game. First things first, Arsenal have done very well so far. Obviously, 2 games in, we've beaten Palace quite comfortably 2-0. Then we beat Leicester, which was a end-to-end game at first. Saliba obviously unlucky scoring that own goal, but obviously apart from that, he was exceptional. I do think Arsenal will finish in the top 4. Obviously, I'm not gonna get ahead of myself, but it's early doors. Obviously, we've still got a lot more games to play. We've got Bournemouth next up, so hopefully that's 3 points guaranteed. But again, it's early doors, so I'm not going to get ahead of myself. But Liverpool today were very unlucky. They should have put their chances away. Palace, on the other hand, obviously they set up with their back 5. They played exceptionally well. They hit Liverpool on the counter attack, and obviously I think Palace should have won that game today. And also Nunez, mate, I don't know what that guy was doing, headbutting Joachim Anderson. Now he has to obviously be out for 3 games. Even worse now, if Liverpool lose to United, oh my God, the way I'm going to be bouncing those Liverpool fans. Honestly, surely they can't lose to Man United, who just got slapped by Brentford 4-0. If it happens, honestly, I'm going to laugh, but I don't know, man. But honestly, Palace should take confidence from this, and whoever they got next, I think they'll win. But honestly, Liverpool should be very, very wary of Manchester United because, again, if they play Haaland against United, Rashford, Sancho, Ronaldo, boy, listen, they're gonna have a field day. So, yeah.
Listen, we'll see what happens. I'm not even thinking about that because that would get me too giddy. But listen, Josh, thanks for the call, my guy. We'll try again soon. Thank you, brother. Thank you. Listen, people, we've currently got the Chelsea podcast going on our Twitch account. I've put the link right now. Spam the link into the comment section. Go and check that out on our Twitch account right now. Go and subscribe to our Twitch account and go and support the boys over there. But until next time, people, take care. Goodbye. God bless. And I'm going to see you all again very, very soon.